Imagine having so much money flowing into your life that you feel genuinely amazed by the abundance, yet completely comfortable and deserving of every dollar. This isn't fantasy. It's the reality T. Harv Eker created when he discovered the secret to expanding what he calls your receiving capacity. Most people focus intensely on making more money through better strategies, more clients, or smarter investments, but they completely ignore the invisible ceiling that determines how much wealth they can actually keep. Eker learned this the hard way. After failing at 14 different businesses, he finally cracked the code and made $2.5 million in just 2.5 years. But here's the shocking part. Within 2 years, he was broke again. Not because he lacked business skills, but because his internal financial thermostat was programmed for a much lower level of wealth. His subconscious mind literally created situations to return him to his comfort zone. The transformation came when Eker met a wealthy entrepreneur who told him bluntly, "I have a millionaire mind, you don't." This revelation led Eker to discover that your capacity to receive isn't about external circumstances. It's about your internal programming. When you expand this capacity, money begins flowing to you naturally, and more importantly, you feel comfortable keeping it and growing it. Today, you'll discover the exact strategies Eker used to reprogram his mind for unlimited wealth, and how you can apply these same principles to shatter your own financial ceiling. Understanding why people unconsciously limit their financial success requires examining what T. Harv Eker calls the receiving capacity paradox. Think of your capacity to receive like a container. No matter how much water you pour into a cup, it can only hold so much before the excess overflows and disappears.
Your financial receiving capacity works exactly the same way. It's determined not by your intelligence, work ethic, or opportunities, but by your deepest beliefs about how much money you deserve to have and keep. This internal programming operates primarily at the subconscious level, which explains why so many intelligent, hard-working people struggle financially, despite their best conscious efforts. The subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you believe you deserve. It simply works to align your external reality with your internal programming. Eker discovered this principle through painful experience. His first major success brought him wealth beyond his wildest dreams, but because his receiving capacity hadn't expanded to accommodate that level of abundance, his subconscious created elaborate scenarios to sabotage his success. He made poor investment decisions, trusted the wrong people, and found himself spending money on things he didn't need or even want. His mind was essentially working overtime to return him to his financial comfort zone. This pattern isn't unique to Eker. Statistical evidence supports this phenomenon across various populations. Research shows that 70% of lottery winners lose their fortunes within 5 years of winning. Professional athletes, despite earning millions during their careers, face serious financial difficulties at alarming rates after retirement. These outcomes aren't due to lack of money, but because sudden wealth exceeds their internal capacity to receive and manage it comfortably. The encouraging news is that receiving capacity isn't fixed. It's a skill that can be deliberately developed and expanded, much like building physical strength through consistent training. Harv Eker identified 3 primary blocks that limit our ability to receive financial abundance, operating mainly below conscious awareness, while sabotaging our efforts toward prosperity. The first barrier is what Eker terms worthiness programming. From childhood, we absorb countless messages about how much we deserve to have. Phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," "Rich people are greedy," or "Who do you think you are?" create an invisible ceiling of worthiness that follows us into adulthood. This programming manifests as uncomfortable feelings when you start earning more than your parents or peer group, or thoughts like, "I don't deserve this much," when opportunities for advancement appear. It's a deep conditioning that limits not only how much you earn, but how much you allow yourself to keep and enjoy without guilt. The second barrier involves the visibility fear factor. Wealth naturally brings visibility, and many people harbor subconscious fears about being seen, judged, or becoming targets for criticism or exploitation. This fear often originates from childhood experiences, where being noticed resulted in negative consequences like criticism, rejection, or unwanted attention. When this block is active, you might find yourself procrastinating before important business presentations, making uncharacteristic mistakes when you're on the verge of a breakthrough, or even developing physical symptoms before major opportunities. Your subconscious believes it's protecting you by keeping you financially invisible, and therefore safe from judgment or attack. The third barrier consists of negative associations with wealth itself. If you unconsciously believe that money corrupts people, that wealthy individuals are inherently greedy or dishonest, or that financial success requires compromising your values, your subconscious will work tirelessly to prevent you from becoming what you secretly despise. This block frequently appears as self-criticism when you begin prospering, or as inexplicably poor financial decisions that undermine your progress just when things are going well. Before continuing, if this message is already making sense to you and has been a blessing in your understanding, I want to invite you to show your appreciation through a super thanks contribution. Your support helps us continue creating transformative content that can genuinely change lives, and it's your way of investing in your own growth while helping others discover these life-changing principles. The journey toward expanding your receiving capacity begins with honestly identifying your current financial ceiling and understanding its origins. This revealing exercise, developed by T. Harv Eker, helps you discover the exact limits your subconscious mind has placed on your financial potential. Start by writing at the top of a page, "My current financial ceiling is." Then, without overthinking, write the maximum annual amount you truly believe you're capable of earning. Not what you'd like to earn, but what feels genuinely possible for someone like you in your current circumstances. Once you have that number, multiply it by 10 and observe your immediate emotional response. If you feel discomfort, disbelief, anxiety, or hear internal voices saying, "That's impossible," or "I'd have to become someone terrible to earn that much," you've successfully identified your receiving capacity limit. Most people experience a visceral reaction when contemplating earning 10 times their current level, because it forces them to confront the subconscious barriers they've accepted as immutable facts. The next crucial step involves tracing these limits back to their origins. Reflect on the financial messages you absorbed during childhood. What were your parents' or caregivers' beliefs about money and wealthy people? What was your most impactful experience related to money, whether positive or negative? How do you typically feel when you encounter someone with significantly more wealth than you possess? Your answers will reveal the foundational programming that currently governs your financial reality. Perhaps you grew up hearing that money can't buy happiness, or witnessed your parents arguing constantly about financial pressures, leading you to associate wealth with conflict and unhappiness. Maybe you experienced shame around financial struggles and developed beliefs that people like you don't deserve abundance. Eker emphasizes that your past conditioning determines your present financial situation, but your current conditioning will determine your financial future. The simple act of consciously identifying your financial ceiling and its sources begins the dissolution process, bringing hidden programming into the light where it loses much of its unconscious power over your decisions and actions. One of T. Harv Eker's most transformative techniques for expanding receiving capacity is the act-as-if practice, which leverages the neurological principle that your brain struggles to distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and actual reality. This practice systematically conditions your nervous system to feel comfortable with higher levels of abundance, essentially rehearsing wealth until it becomes your new normal. The implementation requires choosing a target amount representing 2 to 3 times your current financial ceiling, significant enough to stretch your capacity without seeming completely impossible to your subconscious mind. For 30 consecutive days, spend 10 focused minutes daily visualizing yourself receiving this amount with complete comfort and naturalness. See the money entering your bank account. Imagine checking your balance and observing this new figure. And most importantly, practice feeling not just excitement but genuine comfort, peace, and deservingness around this wealth level. The critical element involves maintaining emotional equilibrium during these visualizations. When anxiety or doubt arises, don't fight these feelings. but acknowledge them gently before returning to sensations of comfort and natural abundance. Beyond daily visualization, integrate act-as-if behaviors throughout your regular activities. When shopping, ask yourself what you would choose if money weren't a constraint, allowing yourself to consider possibilities beyond your current limitations without necessarily making expensive purchases. When receiving any amount of money, practice saying, "Thank you, I deserve this," rather than minimizing or feeling guilty about the income. When encountering wealthy individuals, consciously practice feeling comfortable and equal rather than intimidated or resentful. This systematic conditioning gradually reprograms your subconscious to accept higher abundance levels as natural and appropriate. As Ecker explains, you're essentially training your body and mind to feel at ease with greater levels of receiving, similar to how athletic training prepares your body for higher performance levels. When your subconscious genuinely believes you deserve more wealth, it stops creating the self-sabotage patterns that previously kept you trapped at lower financial levels. Harvaker discovered that one of the most powerful ways to expand receiving capacity involves transforming your emotional relationship with the actual act of receiving money through what he calls the financial celebration ritual. This practice addresses the discomfort many people unconsciously experience when money enters their lives, a discomfort that frequently triggers self-sabotage behaviors that push abundance away. The ritual itself appears simple, but creates profound neurological changes over time. Whenever money flows into your life, regardless of the amount or source, dedicate 2 to 3 minutes to conscious celebration of this receiving. Create a designated space for this practice, whether it's a special corner of your home, a simple altar, or even a box containing symbols of prosperity that remind you of abundance. Hold the physical money when possible, or if dealing with electronic deposits, print the receipt, or hold a visual representation while engaging in the ritual. Begin with 3 deep breaths to center yourself completely, then speak aloud. I receive this money with gratitude and joy. This money represents the value I create in the world. I deserve this abundance and much more. Visualize this current amount multiplying and attracting similar abundant energy into your life. Then conclude with specific gratitude. Thank you for this specific amount that now enriches my life. The scientific foundation for this practice lies in conditioning theory. By consistently associating money reception with positive emotions like joy, gratitude, and deservingness, you gradually retrain your nervous system to welcome rather than resist financial abundance. Many people harbor unconscious negative associations with receiving money, feeling guilt, anxiety, or fear when larger sums appear in their lives, which literally repels future abundance. Ecker observed that the universe responds not to what you consciously want, but to what you feel genuinely comfortable receiving. This ritual systematically trains your emotional system to embrace abundance as natural and deserved. For maximum effectiveness, maintain a receiving journal, documenting each instance of money entering your life alongside your emotional experience during the ritual, tracking your evolving relationship with financial abundance over time. The beauty of expanding your receiving capacity extends far beyond money alone. It encompasses your ability to receive love, appreciation, help, opportunities, and all forms of abundance that life offers. Harvaker discovered that receiving capacity operates holistically, meaning limitations in one area automatically create restrictions in others, while expansion in any area naturally increases your capacity across all domains. If you struggle to receive compliments gracefully, you likely also resist receiving financial opportunities. If accepting help from others feels uncomfortable, you probably also have difficulty accepting unexpected money or gifts. This interconnectedness provides tremendous leverage. By working to expand your receiving capacity in areas with less resistance, you simultaneously increase your ability to receive money. Practice receiving appreciation by fully absorbing compliments instead of immediately deflecting or reciprocating them. Simply breathing deeply and saying, "Thank you, I appreciate that," while allowing the positive recognition to genuinely land. Expand your capacity for receiving assistance by requesting help with small tasks daily, then accepting that help completely, without feeling obligated to immediately compensate or reciprocate. Allow yourself daily periods of pure pleasure without any productive purpose, practicing receiving joy and satisfaction without guilt, or feeling you must earn these positive experiences. Create deliberate empty spaces in your schedule with nothing planned, practicing comfort with receiving abundant time and space. Eker emphasizes that many people with financial blocks suffer from what he calls martyr syndrome. They excel at giving but resist receiving, unconsciously viewing reception as selfish or undeserved. However, the universe operates through balanced exchange, and constant giving without receiving disrupts natural abundance flow, eventually leading to burnout and resentment. By consciously practicing reception across all life areas, you gradually eliminate the discomfort associated with receiving, recognizing that graceful receiving is as important as generous giving. They represent two essential aspects of healthy abundance circulation. The journey of expanding your receiving capacity isn't a destination, but an ongoing practice requiring consistent attention and cultivation. As T. Harv Eker frequently reminds students, your mind resembles a garden. Without actively nurturing desired growth, limiting beliefs will inevitably resurface and reclaim territory. Maintaining expanded receiving capacity requires what Eker calls loving vigilance, staying alert to signs that old programming is attempting to reassert control. These warning signals include feeling uncomfortable around large money amounts, beginning to self-sabotage when life flows smoothly, or experiencing guilt when you prosper while others struggle. Rather than self-criticism when these patterns emerge, simply recognize them as remnants of previous conditioning and consciously reaffirm your new abundance identity. Every 6 months, reassess your financial ceiling and establish a target 20 to 30% higher, continuing the act as if practice with this elevated amount. Your receiving capacity resembles a muscle requiring progressively greater challenges to continue developing and strengthening over time. Surround yourself with individuals demonstrating high receiving capacity, since your ability to receive abundance is heavily influenced by your 5 closest relationships. Actively seek connections with people comfortable around wealth, while gradually creating distance from those perpetuating scarcity mentality and limiting beliefs about money. Transform yourself into a teacher of these principles, since one of the most powerful ways to solidify learning involves sharing knowledge with others who are open to growth. When you help friends or family members understand and apply these concepts, you simultaneously reinforce your own abundance programming and create a supportive community around wealth consciousness. Remember that expanding receiving capacity isn't about greed or materialism, but about removing artificial barriers preventing you from living at full potential and serving the world through your maximum capacity for positive impact. Your capacity to receive abundance isn't just a personal development goal. It's your fundamental birthright as a human being capable of creating tremendous value in the world. T. Harv Eker's profound insight that money simply amplifies who you already are reveals the true purpose behind this inner work. When you operate from a place of genuine abundance, your natural generosity, creativity, and service multiply exponentially, creating ripple effects that benefit everyone around you. The blocks limiting your receiving capacity rob not only you of your potential, but deprive the world of the unique contributions you could make with unlimited resources, supporting your mission. Every day you postpone this inner work is another day your gifts remain constrained by invisible ceilings that exist only in conditioned thinking patterns. The techniques and principles outlined here aren't theoretical concepts requiring years to implement. They're practical tools you can begin applying immediately to start expanding your financial reality. Your future self, living in the abundance that represents your true capacity, is calling you to take action now. The question isn't whether you deserve unlimited prosperity. You absolutely do. The question is whether you're ready to claim it, by doing the inner work necessary to receive it gracefully and powerfully, transforming not only your own life, but contributing to the elevation of everyone whose life you touch through your expanded capacity to serve and give.